Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Good morning, everybody. I hope that the whole starting it, a few minutes early so that you guys have a chance to come in and hear, the first little bit of analysis is working well. Like, you like the start screen and were you guys able to find the links and everything? So let me know in the chat about that. But anyways, let's get into the chart over here. Oh, we need to minimize that. Okay, so there was some news that they've actually come to some sort of an agreement on specific language to use within a trade agreement between the US and China. And so we did have a little bit of a move up in the E-mini, and we had a pretty decent fall down in Treasuries. ZB, I believe that if the non-farms number that's coming up here in 10 minutes is good, that we could get all the way back into, this area up in here. Can you see that? We were there for a very, very long time. Well, all through January and February, and I think that that's about where we could get to, if not below that. What would it be, like 143 area in the bond? So we'll see. Of course, we won't do it all at once, but I think that that's kind of where we're headed. If the number is good and people decide that the risk of a recession is overblown, but it might be really bad and we don't really know. And when you come over here back to the DOM, the DOM is extremely light right now. They're not even putting up 3,000 on it. So yeah, they are expecting this particular news release to be really, really big. So, I mean, they always pull. It's always a little bit light, but this is extremely unusual. So, there's that. Anyways, so we're just chilling for 10 minutes until it happens. Okay, barely even any volume on the open either. They are definitely expecting this to be a monster. Oh yeah, Bitcoin. Bitcoin is did have a little bit of a come down yesterday, and it's back above 5,000. Now would be a good time to generate those charts and post those notes because we're not taking a trade in the next 10 minutes, so let's do that. Okay, so we're finally getting a good reading here. I wish that it allowed you to upload multiple ones at once. Like if I do that, and then can you just there's no way to to just automatically stick them in. Sucks. Wish Patreon just allowed me to like select all of them. I have to go in and open it like 20 times. I wish I could automate it. You can automate posting to Patreon, but I don't think you can automate putting the pictures in. I suppose I could make something that stitches it together in one big image or something. Actually, I think I'll look into that today. All right, there we go. All right, so We're coming up on 1 minute before it. Man, they've really pulled for this. This just insane. Um, yeah. Good morning, Uzi. I gotta help a friend move today and it's raining, so let's hope I don't die. Yeah, that would be bad. That wouldn't be good. Let's see here. Do we get the did it tweet for me out on YouTube really well? Or sorry, on Twitter. Yes, we did. Cool. I'm happy with it. What has Donald Trump been saying today? Trolling the Mueller report. Democrats lost on collusion. Now they're inventing a cover up. So I think I need to pull up this and set some things where if I get like 100, no, maybe 50, let's say, here and here. That's really wide, but okay, here it goes. We're long. Whoa. What happened there? Okay. 196 versus 177. What the hell? Okay. So my stop worked. Um and it took the profit, and then for some reason Jigsaw took the short again. That was really weird. I have to email Pete with that one. So I've seen that before, and it did something crazy. I guess you can't expect the simulator to be very effective in that kind of situation, though. 196 versus 33. What happened here? So that's not what I expected at all, given what the number is. But the hourly earnings must have been different. I didn't quite see what the hourly earnings was. Hourly earnings was 0.1. Okay. That was a wild move. Okay, cool. Okay. Okay. Sure. I think it just got John's morning notes there. Bulb Arizona is 147.10 to 14 area. We're just at the tippy top of it. Okay, so I got 155. That's okay. They are putting 3000s up on here now. We just kind of let it do its thing here for a few minutes and see. That whole thing was really weird because the thing that is so weird about it is, well, let's look at what the orders that were actually placed were. Okay. 4/5/19. Okay. So here I need to, let's just make it much longer. Okay. So I had the two stops. This one, the short was canceled, and this one was converted. So it turned into a long at 145. And then my limit at 175. What's GSCI? So it looks to me like the stop was like my exit was my exit was 125. I see what happened. So it came up, and then it came back down, and then it came back up, and when it came back down, it hit this stop order, and it closed me out, but it closed me out up here. And so this order up here hadn't actually been hit. And then when it went back up there again, it got hit. So if I had had it like this, where I say trading close outstanding orders when position is closed, then that probably would not have happened. But then I'm also wondering why when I got the 125 here that it got filled. Right? So I need to add, I think I'm missing a column here. Column chooser. Where does it say long or short? Oh, here it is right here. I don't know, that PIQ one doesn't seem to matter. Okay. So now I can see here. Okay, so this one was the buy. And then it hit the 1200 and it converted into a sell. But then I sold 175. And then market sell. It doesn't tell me what price. And then I panicked and exited. And then I got in again. That's so funny. So I kind of got lucky there, didn't I? Kind of got lucky that I came out of that ahead. GSCI. What is that? The S&P, no, that's not right. Widely tracked S&P GSCI is recognized as a leading measure of general price movements and inflation in the world economy. Yeah, actually, Liz, I think it does make sense. Yeah, it makes sense to me. Well, I tell you what, this non-farms definitely surprised today, didn't it? Did he go short? He did. Well, now we're essentially at the news price. Actually below that. Last non-farm payrolls sucked. Is what Peter's saying. I don't really recall. I seem to recall being disappointed by it. Now, I should fix this. Employment growth averaged 180,000 per month in the first quarter of 2019 compared with 223,000 per month in 2018. It's from Zero Hedge. So, even though the numbers were better than expected, they are still lower than last year, which I think would be expected. But I think that the case that is being made right now, by the way, what was the price? The open is 105. Okay. So they're back in buy again. Anyways, what was I saying? You know what? I don't have the thing up. There we go. Anyways, I think that the case that is being made, though, is that a trade deal is close. So all of that weakness created by the trade deal is going to go away and things should be fine. And we're really close to like all-time highs in the S&P again. So, you know, and realistically, the news that we just got really is like really good, because it says like the economy is doing okay for now and there's no reason to raise rates. And if we continue to stay in this area where we can maintain low interest rates, you know, this economy can just continue to grow and grow and grow, and it can be and it could be really, really good for us. You know, if we never are getting inflation is, well, you do want to have some inflation, right? You do need some inflation. I think that there's going to be some problems that are going to stack up if we go for too long without seeing real inflation. But I guess we did see some inflation at the beginning of the year, like in January. You know, like we got that really big reading. That was the thing, is that we had the one reading where it was 0.3, or maybe it was 0.4, and now we got this reading where it was 0.1. But we might be, you know, a little bit lagged by the market on that reading. It could be that in May it's back up high again if everybody's all bullish and stuff. You know what I mean? Well, they are holding this open area. Okay, they're trading back and forth across it a little bit. Man, the 5 year in particular was really wild on that move. When you look at it on a one range chart, it's just, I should post that in the chat. They went back and forth there a ton before falling apart, so probably not a great sign. Momentum is up right now, and I do see some strong buying in the 5 year. But I don't think that this is quite in a spot that I can buy it right now. I kind of want to hold off. In fact, I may just say that we did well and I should just leave it alone. Ooh. Okay. And they sweep it back against him? Okay. Phew. Okay, I don't want to take on too much risk here. Yeah, okay, cool. I like that. There's this spot right here, though. 13.5 is a kind of a pivot I could be careful about. Wow. I'm happy with that one. Probably could have taken that one off at 150. He's actually giving us maybe a potential continuation signal there. Okay, so they are able to get past 15.5. There you go. Is there going to be iceberging at 15.5? No. They're able to make a go offer, but somebody did push back, so. It's not quite what I would like to see, but I think it's still okay. There might be more in this up move. I'm not sure. It's still right where it was. It's actually gone quite quiet there. Kind of took my eye off of it for a bit. By the way, good morning, Ace. If bonds can't get any traction here, we're going back to lows. Look at crude. Ooh, yeah, crude is moving up. Japanese yen is... all the currencies kind of did that crazy move. Yeah, this could be difficult trade. Good morning, Luke. Fighting the markets. Yeah, and so that's interesting. Ace is going short 28.90.50. I can see it as a mean reversion trade for sure. But my take on what just happened is that in bonds, it's a little uncertain because although the employment numbers were better than expected, the wage numbers were not good at all. We were expecting 0.3 and we got 0.1, which is a very low reading, right? So bonds are going back and forth and they aren't sure. They might bump out the top here and beat out the high from the news, which was at 19.5. They might go short and push the lows again. But in equities, both things are good because it means one that the economy is doing okay, that the risk of recession is not quite as high. I think there's still some risk out there, but I think that the good jobs number means that we're no reason to panic yet. And low wage inflation means the interest rates are going to stay low. So that's interest rates staying low is good for equities too. Well, there you go. He's gonna get at least a point. So my perspective is, or what I'm stocking right now is like, I think that there could be some reversion back to the mean here in treasuries, or sorry, in E-mini. Maybe 28.89.25 is one place, is one significant level. Okay, we did just touch it. But I would rather be in line with the trend. I think that when they open that they're going to buy it. There you go. Multi-lots take first profit at a point, move the stop to break even with rest. Gotcha. Well, you got to give it to him. He read it right. It did go down there. Okay, so they're going beyond 89.25 now. There is a single print at 28.88. Oh, what are they saying in Discord here? When it comes to relationship between markets, are you running stats on that as well, or is it more quantitative judgment? Alligator, not convinced by shorts at the moment. Too much pressure trying long at 16. Peter, no qualitative for me. I use data. I'm too stupid to look at the market and think it's going up or down. So even with relationships between two instruments, everything is fully statted out. Yes. Okay, I think this is the price. Now I'm thinking, should I just FOMO into 89? I might have just missed it. It's like printing money. I would like to buy you a wobble. Have you ever been to like bridges down there? Well, they have one down in Provo, and they have one in Salt Lake, and they have a cart that goes around too. Have you ever had those Belgian waffles? Or there's another one called Waffle Love, which has more extravagant waffles, but the actual waffle itself is not quite as good. Those are great. I freaking love those things. That's like my favorite thing. Like when I was back in the post-divorce single days and I was dating a ton, I'd probably go there once a week. Okay, alligator is getting out. Yeah, waffle love is there's waffle love is like the newer one, but Bruges is like the authentic Belgian waffle, and it has a really strong. I don't know how to explain it. It's like the waffly flavor. It has to do with the way that they do the yeast in it, because you kind of let the yeast go for a little bit, and then you refrigerate it back up again. Yeah, he's been there. I haven't had to make a waffle all spring break. Ah, really? That's funny. Yeah, my so what happened to me for spring break? Ah. Okay. What happened to me for spring break was um my wife wanted to go and visit her family over in Oklahoma City. And I was looking at it and I was like, okay, maybe we could maybe do that. Because I had plenty of vacation days. And then right before it happened, like they were talking about some of the things at work, like, oh, we need to talk to these guys about this and we need to change a couple of things up on the team and stuff. And so it seemed to me like there was going to be some significant changes. And I was like, well, I don't want to be gone when that happens. You know what I mean? And then so I stayed, and for me, because they're just hanging out at grandma's house. This is not very interesting to me. I don't like missing a whole week of trading and just sitting around and visiting, which I'm just not that social of a person in that kind of a context. So I stayed home, and then nothing happened at work. Literally nothing happened. And it kind of makes me a little mad thinking about it. But so I've just kind of been chilling at home with the birds. Oh, and she took the great thing is, and the great thing is that she took the dogs with her. So have you noticed that like you haven't really been hearing the birds screaming and everything? So like without the kids and the dogs screaming and being loud all of the time, the birds are like perfectly content and just kind of chill and are pretty quiet. Pretty quiet. So, and then when I come home, I don't have to worry about the dogs eating them or having to put the dogs away or like scheduling the time. So I just leave the cage open and they just chill with me. And it's been great. And the baby, I think, is warming up to me a little bit more. Sure likes being put to sleep now. When I put the blanket over the thing, that the baby bird is so happy about it. Oklahoma, America's time out room? Where do you get that from? That was funny. Oklahoma City. We're planning on going down there later in the year too. That was also part of why I was like, wow, probably should stay out. But I'm interested to see where they're actually living there. Like, are they like in Oklahoma City, or are they like kind of outside of it a little bit? Because they lived like in the middle of nowhere before. Her dad worked at a nuclear power plant, and He did something to do with like how much radiation individual workers were exposed to and controlling that. Um, but but apparently nuclear power plants are built out in the middle of nowhere. So I was looking at this. Then in Utah, there actually is a company. Well, there's two things going on because somebody's building something up in Idaho, but then there's another company that's gotten a contract to build um, I think that they were going to build a molten salt reactor, which is really exciting, down in like central Utah. And it was like out there between in the middle of Price and like I-15, you know. So like Price is the middle of nowhere. And then where this place is at, the Hunter power plant is really like out there. It is really out there. I was like, oh, it'd be interesting to work at a nuclear power plant and everything. But like, where would you live? You can't live in the major city. You're living in a teeny tiny town that's like 30 minutes away from the power plant. A guy in Tulsa had his dog run away one time. Watched him for 6 days. It's so flat. Even the pancakes seem mountainous. Yeah. Ooh, I like that. I look away for a moment and it's looking good, right? I think I should move that. Anyways, like I served my mission in Kansas, right? So, well, the funny thing is because Kansas is obviously very, very flat, but there are a few places that have hills, and I always ended up going to the places that had the hills and stuff. And so that's interesting. So there was a big bid there at 28.90, and they filled him, and he took it and bought 380. And treasuries have gotten real quiet here. So I'm a little concerned because we're coming into the equities open. I have some profit baked into it, so I think it's okay, but I'm a little concerned about where my stop is. Well, I mean, we're below where we got to, so 28.88, 25. No, like my stop's actually in a great spot. I think I want it right there, but I think we're in a good spot. And then on the upside, I think I just gotta keep an eye on it, but I should probably end up moving that up if it gets up there. Oh, you know, while we're waiting here, I wanted to check something here, like if I can do a spread. ZN. So all the spreads that it's showing me are just like, oh, they did tick down there in treasuries. That's good. Wonder what this one is. Error. Unable to get instrument metrics. Yeah. Fine. It seems to me that, oh, now is it going to show me that all day? Probably. Seven minutes. They don't seem to want to go above this trend line right here yet. But maybe they break it when the open happens. So we might be sitting here for 10 minutes. I think I should just chill out. I think that I have a good setup here. I'm looking at it like it's not just going. Maybe I should take it off. Oh, Donald Trump heading to the border to show a section of the new wall being built, leaving now. Oh, he tweeted a bunch of stuff. What are you saying about the USMCA? The crazed and dishonest Washington Post again purposely got it wrong. Mexico, for the first time in decades, is meaningfully apprehending illegals at their southern border before the long march up to the U.S. This is great and the way it should be. The big flow will stop. However, if for any reason Mexico stops apprehending and bringing the illegals back to where they came from, the U.S. will be forced to tariff at 25% all cars made in Mexico and shipped over the border to us. If that doesn't work, which it will, I will close the border. This will supersede USMCA. Likewise, I am looking at an economic penalty for the $500 billion in illegal drugs that are shipped and smuggled through Mexico and across our southern border. Over 100,000 Americans die each year, yet so many families destroyed. Well, he's sure all up on that today. Yes, gets below 2886, and we are testing the last line of support at 2871. That goes in deeper, drop to 2840 until we get below 2886. We're going nowhere but sideways, says Brannigan Barrett. If ES gets below 2886. So he sees a potential to come down here. Not quite sure why does he feel that way? Has he said some other stuff? Nope, that's just the only thing he said. My eyes are watering a lot this morning. I mean, Treasuries really starting to look to me like they're turning down. But you're not getting like significant volume, so I'm not sure I can read too much into it. But the chart looks like a hill. I forget what they call it. A bowl. I think that's called a bowl. But Okay. Okay, so they came back to my entry on the open, and then the first impulse is long, but my cumulative, well, so that's interesting. So the cumulative delta there was actually negative. Okay, well, so they did touch the 8 ticks, right? So I should move it up, right? Well, that would be awfully odd if they don't go, well, okay. I forget that now that I've switched over to the data, that it resets the DOM when it starts. Well, shit. Oh, well, maybe it pulls it out here. I don't know. I did not like it coming back on me that much. I would have liked to have just taken the 100 there. Uh, I guess I should take. Oh, I've felt this one before. Okay, never mind. Never mind. Hmm. I'm surprised that they're pushing those lows as strong as they are. So I can see how. I don't know if Ash is up open. Oh, he said 2 minutes to cash open and close up your stops if you're still in. So, my question is, well, so here's one of the conundrums that I'm having is Ace normally, he's taking multiple lots and he'll take like one off at the plus 4 ticks or plus 8 ticks, and then you're moving things up. So that time, I got plus 8 ticks and I moved my stop up, and then they very, very quickly came back down to my open, and then they didn't quite trigger it and they pulled back from it, and that's when I was like, okay, I should have gotten out already. I need to just really quickly cut it off here, and I only ended up getting a few ticks off of it, which is, it should have been a lot better, right? If I had been trading multiple lots, I could have taken one of them off up there at the top, and then I still would have gotten a decent profit out of that, or would have gotten more than I did. But because I'm only doing one contract right now, I'm not quite sure how I should swing it, and I'm wondering if maybe I really should have just taken the 8 ticks there and been done with it. You know what I mean? Yeah, she doesn't really want to hold these levels. I'm surprised that the volume is selling on the open. I am surprised. Yeah, it's really falling apart here. Well, I guess I shouldn't say it's fallen apart because they might just be retracing back to the news price first, but you know, I think that if we were able to get back above the open price, like um, maybe I could buy it if it does that, but well, maybe not. I thought maybe we would go a little further than that, so it's still a little bit too wild to be taking a trade. Spencer says for fun, I'm short at 28.89.75. And you got a little bit off of that. Yes, could be only a pullback for the first hour. Xian, either they crush bears or I'm out. Xian really holding that level. This is one of the action right now in Xian is probably my least favorite action because you've came up and now you're holding a level. And you don't know if it's going to break out or break down. And you will see tons of signals making you think that they're going to do one or the other. And so you take that position and you hold it. And when you watch the action, like right now, that really looks to me like they want to push up really strongly. When it came back down, and then I thought, okay, you could probably buy it. And if I was in it right now and I had that pushing on me, I'd be happy with it, right? Oh, okay. I guess they did it. Oh, there you go. Well, the thing is I can't tell. It's very very difficult, and even actually after that, I'm still a little bit weary about it. So the E-mini is not exactly like ready to break down. By the way, good morning, staggering facts. Welcome to our the most boring Twitch channel. No, it's not the most boring Twitch channel, but it's pretty quiet on the Twitch side this morning. Like we've been doing pretty good on. So I streamed both Twitch and YouTube. Most of my viewers are on YouTube because people search, for finance stuff on YouTube and it shows it to them. Whereas, of course, Twitch is all kids and have no interest in this stuff. But normally we can get like 3 to 6 on Twitch, but we've only had like 1 the whole time today on Twitch, I think. So yeah, I think I would have to say if I had taken that long, I would maybe be thinking about getting out because, yeah, there you go. Because there's too much of a chance. Like right there at 18, there was the big block. So that's a place they're going to rotate around a little bit. Makes it a good profit taking spot. You just sell it right there. But I don't think that it's enough of a signal to say get out. Or sorry, go short. Wouldn't go short, but if it comes back here a little bit to where we were, I guess we were saying 17. Maybe I could take a long from there. We'll see. This one is a little tricky too because he's still got this thing where they pushed up. There's still the potential for them to come back down. Although I think probably we're more likely to go and test the highs. Well, and on the E-mini one here, although I should have managed the trade better, it did. I was correct to be concerned there and get out. So Now that it's gone back here, though, I kind of see a possibility for them to push the highs. But I don't want to trade until after 8 o'clock in the evening, I think. Yeah, that was a good one. Well, I guess I could have bought it up there where I was saying it was long. It was a good trade. And with the trading volume like that, I think you could potentially see a continuation. In fact, I want to try this. I've been seeing this sort of a, like if it gets to there. I don't think that it will fill, but let's see what happens. I think that 113 is too little, though. I think that we need to be more like 56. Okay, let's find out how bad of an idea this is. So that price iceberged quite a bit there. See, it's not actually triggering it yet. Interesting. Did not do it. Didn't trigger. I guess that means that it worked. Obviously, I don't want it now, but I'm super surprised by what happened there. Okay. So that came back really strong and then it went up and it did go. So I could say you still want it. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know about that. Uh, did it take two there? Yeah, that's not what we wanted. Okay, cool. I really think that they should go for the overnight high, which was at 28.83. No, 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 no. 93. Oh wait, it's we're just grazing it. 93.50. So we're like one tick short of the overnight high. See when it does that. That sucks. Should have paid closer attention there, because when it came down and then bounced, probably 28.90 or so would have been a good place to go long. And now I'm, got up in here, and it's probably not the best spot. Probably not the best spot. Never easy, but today bull flattener would be logical. Not what I'm seeing at the moment. So long, easier to read, and it seems it's not in. So in my opinion, move is not over. Only the first part is in, flattening next. It's a good point that it is flattening. All of them are flattening. Okay. Okay. So quite a bit of more buying there that time. Still not holding it though. Come on. Do it. Don't give back those nice profits. Don't tell me that. It just gonna make me nervous. I think he's talking to me, Spencer. Come on. Do it. It'll be spectacular. Don't you guys want to see a good stop run higher off of breaking the overnight high? Come on. Like, yeah, 89.93 is great, but you know what would be greater is 89.94. Bah. So I can tell very clearly that my price was not the greatest price to get in at. Oh, almost. Jeez. He's fighting this hard. Someone's fighting this hard. Okay. They're equaling it. I still see some buying cumulative delta, so we could still do it. It's like that little turtle. Eh. Eh. Is it time to wake up, bird? You decide that it's time to wake up. Okay. I see these spots in the E-mini all the time where you get a couple hundred trade between two prices and then it's always difficult. Okay, so there was a little bit of a stop run. It's always really difficult for me to tell what it's going to do there. Somebody really doesn't want to let it keep going. And the treasuries are holding too. There you go. All right. Well, I think they can keep going, but I felt like that what just happened there should have been a little bit more exciting than that. When they buy, they seem to be more excited. There you go. Block buy in the equities too. See, it's kind of like, oh, I can't do it. But then they sold it. But you can see when they try and push it up, they're much more aggressive about it. Like he's really trying to hold the line there. Okay, well, they really busted through somebody right there. Okay, so this is where we move it to break even, right? And we take profit on one lot. So it's the same conundrum again for me. Everyone thinks day trading is hot women and fast cars when actually often just boring. Yeah. Well, I think that you're probably not going to see a lot of people out there scalping that have Lamborghinis. You can make a good living doing trading, but I think that most of the people that are truly good at it know how fragile it can be. And the first thing you do is you pay off your house. You find your means and keep them comfortable so that when you go through a drawdown, you're not, gasping for air or whatever. Having a Lamborghini, $250,000, $250,000 car, right, is not, you're probably going to be making a monthly payment on that, right? So yeah, and anytime, like when you're doing educating and they're talking about day trading, if you see some day trader and he's like showing off his super nice house and his super nice car and all of those sorts of things, run. That guy is not making money trading. The only way that you can feel comfortable and have peace of mind in owning those sorts of things are if you have consistent monthly income, which means that he's making it from the education and not from the trading. Yeah. But yeah, Spencer's right. It's often just boring. Most boring channel on Twitch, folks. Okay. You can make plenty scalping, but there's going to come a time when you have to lease a seat to take it to the next level. Sure. Well, and you really could very much potentially can make millions of dollars from it, right? Like, like for instance, these guys that we've seen the documentaries, like, what was his name, that from the Australian exchange is probably like one of the most famous, Mad Dog or whatever his name was. He was making millions of dollars. And he was like a big enough fish in the market that a lot of the floor traders were just following what he was doing. But a person that has that much success with it doesn't have the time to do education, right? So again, I still hold to that if you're watching and the guy is talking about his nice car, probably if we're talking about scalping, that's probably not the thing to do. Yeah. If it's like Bitcoin or options, then maybe it's a little different. Because with options, you can just get lucky, really lucky one time. So the problem with options, you see a guy with options, you always got to look at that and think, okay, yeah, but he might have just gotten really lucky one time, Like Ace Trades always says, you can feed a family with 2 points a day. Yeah. Well, I just took 2 points there. I kind of feel like though that I want to hold it for more, but it does appear to be pivoting. I think that I don't know. I still don't know enough about the behavior in the E-mini and my risk reward with one contract in the E-mini and all of that sort of stuff to be like super confident to know what I should be doing there. I think that I made the right choice by taking +8, but I'm feeling greedy. Like I feel like this can totally run up and push higher. You know, but was there a profit taking zone there? Yes. Check out 2-year flipper. That guy is going for single ticks and makes a killing. Yeah. Does he? I think that guy posts on Twitter, right? I think you guys have told me about that person before. I don't know if they're doing trading like education though. Yeah. Bum bum bum. He says professional Uber driver for my kids' school and athletic events. Well, it'd be interesting to trade. Where is it? Where's my ZT? Right there. Trading the 2-year for a tick. I think you could do it. Oh man, look at the 10-year. Well, that 22, you gotta take it off now. I can't believe that they just moved as far as they did. Yeah, I think you could potentially take that short. That was so crazy, and I was not paying attention to that the 10-year had moved up that much. But I don't want to. I don't want to take it short. Like I see a short, but I don't want to take shorts. I'm filtering only longs because I believe that the news says long. Oh, he's on YouTube too, huh? But he's a member and gets 64-cent round turns. Yeah. So there's a problem with so like the 5-year, for instance. I think there are some things about the 5-year that would make it really good for retail trading. Okay. You get decent ranges. There's good liquidity in it, so you can make reads on it. When you get runs, you get really strong runs that can be stronger than the 10-year. Like and it has a small size, like it's manageable for a small account. But the problem with it is the commission to tick ratio is way too much. So to really make good money trading the 5-year, you've got to be trading enough size to get that discount from your broker, So for that reason, I wouldn't recommend it for new traders. It's like I say in my video about the different instruments, right? She's probably too good for you. You leave that one to the high rollers. He says, let's find his YouTube. Is that BTFDTV? No, that's... Let's see if there's a... I don't see a channel for him, but like somebody else talking to him, I think. And it's from a long time ago too. He's not actually like showing the DOM, but yeah. Oh, okay. There, I hear you. Yeah, that seems like a nice guy. No. I just do want to make clear again, though. I'm not saying that you can't make millions of dollars doing this. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that the person that's making millions of dollars doing this does not make education videos, because there's so much. When you're getting that big, there's so much involved in managing that and everything. You don't want to sit down and make education videos afterwards, you know? But the bigger thing is that you don't have to make millions of dollars doing it, right? Like Ace says, you can make 2 points a day on ES and feed, and make a living on that. And one of the biggest problems in trading, I think, is that the new guys are always swinging for the fences, thinking that in order for me to make it big, I need to catch this huge long trade. And I don't think it works like that. I think that most of the time, 90% of the time, you're taking the average range, or maybe double the average range. I've been getting double the average range a lot. And every once in a while, you will pick up one where you catch, like 4 times. No, that guy does no type of education. There you go. Yeah. Every once in a while, you'll catch one that is like, 16 ticks or whatever in treasuries. But those ones are very rare. And for you to really keep it and it not, come back more than you're comfortable with and all of those sorts of things is very, very rare. You're usually still going to err on the side of caution and look back on it and be like, ugh, could have made 16, 24 ticks and, whatever. That one happens, right? But if the consistency is so much more important, the consistency, and then when the big one does come along, you can't be against it. Let's just say, like if we had a day like today and I was down, I was negative. I did have that one trade that was like more a platform error though. But if I was leaving today negative, then I would be very concerned, because this is the time when you should be doing the best in treasuries, when it's moving. Agreed. If you're good, you just take your profit, close your computer, and go about enjoying your day. You're not going to spend 13 hours making, editing, marketing, emailing, video after video. Yeah, totally. I have to say, like, I'll trade, the first 2 hours. By the way, it's coming up on, here in 10 minutes, I guess I'm think about leaving. But I'll trade the first 2 hours and then come home. I am doing like the political video, like the analysis of the Democrat race. And like, that's work. I mean, it's not like a ton of work, and I actually have the workflow for that nailed down pretty good so that I can do it pretty quickly. But usually when Sunday comes, I usually don't want to do it. I'm like, yeah, but then I have to edit the video, and I would rather just play video games or something. Like it is work. And the one that I made with like the one that I think is my best video where I talk about the different instruments and stuff, like that took a long time to find all of the pictures that I could use and edit the audio so that it sounded nice and everything. It was a lot of work. And these guys that are doing that, and they have like a platform that they're selling like indicators and things like that, like that's a lot of work. And I'm just saying, you don't put in that much work on something if you're already profitable and making a lot of money from your trading. You just don't. But I don't know. That wasn't really the original point though, right? I think the other thing is that somebody that's really good at this, I think that in trading there's very much an imposter syndrome going on, because if you do well and you make it, you're definitely going to be looking back and thinking about it and being like, think about all of those guys that did exactly what I did, but they started at the wrong time, or they made this one mistake, or whatever it was that eventually pushed them out of the market. And that there's a bit of luck involved in having hit the ones that you do. And because you've had bad runs before, that there can be bad runs in the future. And so if you're making it your living, you make adjustments for that because of that. And one of those adjustments are that you don't want to live an extravagant lifestyle. Like, yeah, you can have a nice house and everything, but a nice house that like is within your ability to completely pay off so that you don't have that monthly expense. A nice car that you have the ability to completely pay off. And it'll be like, I've made enough money on this thing. I can take all this chunk of money out and pay off this thing. Because you don't want the monthly bills. Because then when you're trading and you're doing poorly and you're not going to be able to pay the monthly bills, that's going to affect your mentality. It's going to affect your trading. It 100% does. I mean, it's very, very difficult to, these people that will say, oh, I'm just going to quit my job and start trading, even though I've never traded before. That never works. I've never met somebody or heard of somebody where that worked. It's too much pressure on you. It affects your mentality too much. You make bad decisions. You need to have everything tucked away so that if you have a bad run, it's not the end of the world. Well, I said that 22 was a good short, but you'd be pretty slow. It's pretty slow here. I took my profit at 2094, right? 92.75. So what would have been 93.75? Or no, 94.75. And it hasn't really moved very far from where I got out either, so I guess that was the right trade. This first one, I could have taken more on it, so I could have done even better today. It says 300, but you got to take this back and realize that that's really actually only $10, right? I get the temptation to buy a fancy car that is only so people will ask, especially your neighbors who don't know you don't leave for work what you do, and so you can brag about being a day trader. Yeah. Well, so well, and I don't have it anymore, but I used to have my computer turned that way so that and this window was open so I could see out the window. Now that I'm facing this way, I keep those curtains closed so that you guys don't hear the echo off of the window. But when I did that, and it seems to me like everybody in where I live in my, because I live like in a small town suburb outside of Salt Lake, extremely conservative area, and everybody here walks. It's like my whole neighborhood walks down the street before I I leave for the day. So when I would go to church, people would ask me, Daniel, what I was doing. But it's kind of weird when you talk about it because it doesn't really. I don't think it completely registers to people. Like, oh hey, yeah, I can totally make on one contract I can easily make $100 in a day. I wouldn't say easily, but like it's not uncommon to have days like that, right? And if you're sizing up, your account gets bigger, that can very easily turn into $1,000 or $10,000. Totally. Totally can. One of the things was the was in reminiscences of a stock market operator, that Jesse Livermore guy. He said that one of the things that hurt him the most was that he liked living the extravagant lifestyle too much. And so then when he screwed up and like he went bankrupt multiple times, probably because he was a good trader, but he let them run too much and stuff, like those are problems that you face at that level. But what another thing that he says, because somewhere in there he talks about like his like rules, like things that you don't do, sort of a thing. And one of the ones that I think is the most important, at least the one that I think has been the most important for me, is he says that you can't make money trading every market every day. The Treasuries, there are days. In fact, it seems to me like there are periods of several months that it's difficult to make money trading Treasuries. You got to know where your edge is and when is the best time to trade that edge. Today was a good time to trade that edge. I wish that I had taken one somewhere in this long, like this trend from 18.5. Maybe I could have taken it, but I wasn't. I was too busy watching the E-mini and talking. But I wish maybe I had taken another one. But anyways, $156 on the Treasuries, and then almost 300 overall. Refresh. There you go. 293. That's a good day. Still not picking up what I want out of the E-mini, but I don't know. And if they're 1/10, I would have only made $10 on that. So you're making like 125 a tick? I mean, I guess it doesn't matter how much you're making on it as long as it's profitable. And you, of course, as you get more comfortable, you can size up for sure with those micro contracts. But I'm just wondering what the commission is going to be on that. How much are you really going to pay on the commissions? And obviously, I would need to start hitting a much higher percentage of these in ES than I have been. But I don't know what the commission is going to be. So we gotta see. Oh, do they have? Let's look that up here, and then I'm gonna head out. There we go. Do they have the symbol? Do we know what the symbol is going to be? Subscribe. Product code MES. So do we have them? Are they in the system? Nope. There's all the micros though. And then does where is it? Here it is. The all-in cost calculator. Stock index. No, it doesn't say yet. When I know what the commission is and I can do the math, I might have to sit down and make some changes. Because it may be the case that 8 ticks isn't enough. Plus, let's also look at my performance here in ES over the past month, I would say, as when I think we've been doing it. Yes. Okay. So since we've been doing this, I haven't actually been doing it that long. It says to me, now is that right? I swear that I had the ones before that. Maybe let's try it from the start of the year. That's not right. That's not showing me the right time frame. There we go. Okay. Now, only money. Okay. So we started trading it at 3/10. Okay. Apply. Good. Okay. So I've had some days that were really bad, obviously. Some tilters. I think that since that one, I made some adjustments and some rules and that one doesn't happen, but what is the actual win rate? Okay. Win 31, loss 52. Okay. I'm actually doing really good on the favorable ticks. So I guess that my E-mini trading is not as awful as I think. Obviously, there are periods where I'm like fighting the trend and do really bad time after time after time. But it does look like overall I am getting around what I should. 4 to 8 ticks. So I think we can make it work. But just the question is, how much is the commissions on it? Because if I get a good one and I get $10 off of it, and the commission ends up being like, $2, then that might be a problem. Ba-ba-da. And the E-mini never really moved from where we were. So I think that my trading time is gone. And I already posted the notes. I don't see any new comments on that. I had a good discussion today, and we had some good trades, and it was an interesting day. Yeah, so I guess that's it. I don't know. Next week we get some more inflation data. So, given how much the market reacted to the poor wage data today, I think that they're going to be watching those numbers next week again really carefully. So I think we could have a similar week where some days are really bad and some days are really good. After that, I'm keeping an eye out because my statistics say that opportunity gets less after that. So we'll see. Have a good weekend, and I will catch you guys next week. In the meantime, stay profitable, friends.